seen your headline on The Daily Show. You see them all over YouTube. I want you to put your hands together. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Give it up for Josh Johnson.
I do my best to be fair with people. I'm not perfect at it, but I try, you know. And sometimes the fairest thing you can do for a person is be honest with them. Like, so how many people do you know in your life who are suffering because the people around them let them live in delusion? You know what I mean? I've had to sit friends down and be like, listen, you're gonna have to date who like you. There's no way around it. Sometimes the nicest thing you can do for a person is be honest with them. And if I'm being honest, I feel like Donald Trump might be having one of the worst weeks of his life. This is very, very bad. I mean, this is, oof. I've watched people have bad weeks. I've watched people have terrible weeks. There was a dude from my hometown that would ride his bike everywhere, and he got hit by a car and struck by lightning in the same week. He survived both, but wow. Because he was riding his bike, and you know, a lot of cities in the South we don't have enough sidewalk. We really abandoned the entire idea of someone might want to get somewhere in not a car. So he was riding his bike, but there's no sidewalk, and there's also no like bike lane where I grew up. And so there's just like, if you take the service road, it's just ditch and then ditch and then ditch and then ditch. And so then he over here BMXing the ditches going. But then when you do that, you do appear out of nowhere, because the ditch is deep enough where you know you ride, and then there's a little bit of road, then there's another ditch, and then you pick up another ditch, right? You know that's how you get there. But anyone making a left turn on the service road just sees someone on a bike coming truly out of nowhere and sends them flying, right? So he got hit by a car, and the car was turning, so this means it was slower than it could have been, and turned into him. He flipped over everything, bam, 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 landed in the ditch, so at least landed on some grass, right? And then he was all banged up, and then he had to walk the rest of the week until he gets his bike fixed, until he healed up a little bit. He had to, walk around town. He was walking around town, and there was a thunderstorm. Which normally, here's the thing, this is like a big Southern tradition, right? Is that when it's lightning outside, nobody do anything. We turn off the TV. Turn off every appliance. Unplug it. Turn off everything. And don't move. I know you inside, don't move. That lightning see you moving from outside, it might want to come visit, all right? Don't move, stop. Be still where you are unless you are moving to unplug something or turn something off. In fact, lay down on the ground so you can be grounded. And sometimes you'll tell people, like someone will like not be from the South and they'll come over and it'll be a lightning storm and you just start turning everything off and they're like, what are you doing? And it's like, oh, okay, you can play with the Lord if you want to, but I like not being lit up, okay? I'm not even using this blender right now anyway. What point is there for this house to get struck by lightning and then the blender work real good for 6 seconds and then never work again? And so he was walking out in the thunderstorm, and to be fair to him, it was like, what was he supposed to do? I guess lay down. But like, what was he really supposed to do? So he's walking, making his way and everything, and you know, up off ditch, and now he can watch for cars a little easier because he's on foot and stuff, ditch and everything. And then the lightning hit him, right? And it hit okay, the way, I never been hit by lightning before, but the way that it hit him, he did, this is what I'm told, I was not there, but the way the lightning hit him, he did bounce. And I don't know, I didn't know that was possible. I didn't know that could happen, because it didn't seem like being struck by lightning was a buoyancy thing. But yeah, like he basically got hit by lightning, and then he didn't bounce high. It's not like he bounced like a basketball up, but he basically, you know, lightning, boom, and then he went up a little, and then he hit the ground all hot. Charred. You know? And then he had like a scar along the body and everything because struck by lightning. It survived. You know, I've never seen personally somebody get hit by lightning and then get up. I wouldn't. If I got struck by lightning, I'd be like, y'all, you know what? You know, the Lord knows I need a nap. I'm gonna take a nap. Works in mysterious ways. Sometimes you just need to sit down somewhere. What makes you sit down anywhere like being struck by lightning? And so, you know, he boom, boom, boom. And that was trying to get places next 2 days was very rough because he was already banged up from the car. And he was crispy. And he still wasn't having the week that Donald Trump is having. This is like... This is very bad. All right, in case you're not familiar, Donald Trump, the president was, you know, like minding his business, trying to enjoy the government shutdown ending, right? Which should be, that should be a good day. It should, you know, you shut down ended and everything. And so, you know, he got signed the thing and he has everybody in the office and stuff. And the night before, looks like the House Dems released these 3 emails that were from Epstein's estate. So it's different. It's different from like if something was subpoenaed and stuff. It's not like something that was like sealed and then is being released. This, I think, works differently where it's just from the estate, right? And so then they release these 3 emails, and the 3 emails are not, they're not Epstein talking to Trump. They're Epstein talking about Trump. And on what should have been a good day. All right, the best way I could describe what happened is I went to a birthday party, and at this birthday party were a bunch of different friend groups. Like, I shouldn't say a bunch, like 2 friend groups. But I don't know if you've ever had this in your life where you have this person who you're friends with who has a bunch of friends, and then you have this other person you're friends with who has a bunch of friends. But it's enough people in general, whether it's because of school or because of work or whatever, it's enough people in general that the people that know them, eventually there's an overlap of people who are friends with this person, but hate each other. Like they hate each other, or they hate the other friend, but they're part of this friend group, hate the other friend, right? So I was at one of those birthday parties. I was at a birthday party for someone, and the person who hated him the most came to the birthday party. They came because they were invited by our least thoughtful friend, and so having no awareness, least thoughtful friend invites them to the surprise party. And so then we're all like, hey, surprise. And they see this person. They were surprised. And then everybody's waiting for something to pop off and nothing ever did. Because they hate each other. Like, ooh, they hate. Is under. It's below the heart. It's behind and underneath. They hate from like the diaphragm, I think. They hate so much. They hate him. Anyway, so they hated the birthday boy a lot. Like, ooh, I wish I hate you. And so then they bring out the cake, and the cake got like one of the candles for every year, and they getting up there, so it's enough candles to light up a room. And put it down, birthday boy blows them all out. They cut up the cake. We're all chatting and everything in different rooms and stuff. And then the one that hate him, right? Leans over to me and he's like, before everybody, was like singing happy birthday and everything. Before, they like brought out the cake and stuff. I farted in the cake. In my head, I was like, in? In just assumes a level of power that normally you'd say on, but whatever. And that is what the House Dems did to Trump on the day. It's supposed to be, it's not his birthday, but it's supposed to be a good day. And shutdown is ending. It's supposed to be good for, it's supposed to be good day. And so then you see in these emails, they're just not good at all. And it's not like, this is why I would be mad if I was Trump. Because it's not even Epstein talking to Trump, it's Epstein talking to somebody else about Trump, right? So it's the equivalent of like, you at home, and your friend did something, got caught, and then your friend comes to your house with the police. Your friend come to your house with the police and go, hey, come on out, they got us. What do you mean us? I was at home. Because the email doesn't even like one of the main ones that was making the rounds on the news doesn't even like implicate Trump in anything. It just implies that Trump knows something that Epstein knows about what Epstein did that is very bad. That he hasn't told any authorities, but he knows is bad, right? Which doesn't look good. It's just one of those like, this is bad for everybody. Is what? Ooh. And I don't know how we got to this place, because Epstein saga has so many episodes. There is a Marvel universe of Epstein updates. It's never over, it just goes deeper. And then this is what the Dems do. Then the Republicans come out, and Republicans are like, all right, but why were the Dems sitting on these emails? Why are they releasing them now? That's pretty convenient, right? Like, why are you farting in his birthday cake? And then, I suppose, to try to show transparency, to try to be like, we're actually the party that wants to get to the bottom of the Epstein thing the most, the Republicans release 20,000 pages. 20,000 pages. I don't know if I've sent 20,000 emails in my life. 20,000 emails, these pages of Epstein talking about everything, talking about Trump, talking about Larry Summers, talking about it's so much. It's so much it makes you wonder, whoa. Why 20,000? It almost felt like they were like, you know what? Release 20,000. People don't read. They won't read it. It turns out people are pretty interested in reading. It turns out if it's an interesting enough novel, people will dive deep into the reading. Because we're in a stressful time where it doesn't feel like things fully matter. There used to, back in the day, there was shame. So if you were in public office, if you were in public office and you did something, or somebody accused you of something, or sometimes it didn't even have to be anything. There was enough shame that you would resign, or you would retire from politics in shame, because we had shame. People had more shame, right? And I don't know, I'm not gonna blame all of it on social or influencer culture or anything like that, but we have more people than ever that we know about in our own little pockets, right? We have more people than ever that are involved in scandals. It used to be if you were in a scandal, you were either a politician or a Hollywood celebrity. Those were really the only people who could even get into a scandal. But now you could just be an influencer, and even more specific, you could be a makeup influencer, and you get into a scandal that only affects the people who watch you, right? And so now we're watching more people than ever try to navigate having a scandal, which has also made scandals more normal. And so now, instead of looking to how we would all expect someone in a scandal to react, we look at how the person reacts. So you go back in time, all Nixon did was listen to some tapes. When you really sum it up, it's yes, the spying and the blah, blah, blah. But it's Nixon himself, just Nixon, listened to a garbled tape that was of no consequence, really. It was that man resigned over. And I know he did plenty of other stuff besides. I'm just saying, the thing that when we think of Watergate, when people even really think about what Watergate is or what it meant to people, it was the scandal of the government spying and how the opposition treats each other and everything like that. But when you really look at Nixon, I'm not taking up for Nixon at all. I'm literally just saying that when I watched the documentary, it sounded like he resigned over. And he left. And now there's a scam. There's something happening. And obviously everybody puts it on Trump specifically, and he is our version of it, but it was happening all around the West before this. It was bubbling up. Everything does not revolve around this man. There was something that was happening in lots of different places where politicians were realizing how much they could stress test the trust of the general public, right? You even look at Canada with Rob Ford. Rob Ford was the mayor of Toronto. and Rob Ford smoked crack on camera. This man did just smoke crack on camera. He smoked more crack than I've ever seen anybody smoke on camera. He smoked crack on camera so many times that I think he is the most crack smoke taped person of all time. Lots of crack. And he'd get drunk too. And it would be like, who set up the camera? I guess Rob Ford. Like he just... It was scandal after scandal after scandal. It was stuff he would say. It was videos that would come out. It was stuff that he would say. It was videos that come out. It would just be over and over and over again. He wasn't like turning some new leaf. He was just one of the first people that when they came to him, they were like, were you smoking crack? And he was like, I was not smoking crack. Then in the next video that came out, he's like, oh, it's delicious. Like it, I can't tell you how much crack he was smoking. And just never seen somebody smoke crack like it was candy, right? And like, this is okay. Look, maybe this may be wrong of me, but when I was watching the documentary about him smoking the crack and stuff like that, before they revealed that there were tons of crack tapes, like a ridiculous amount of crack tapes. I don't know if anybody watched all the crack tapes. He has that many, right? But before they revealed that he actually did smoke crack, when he was denied smoking the crack, I was like, I don't know if this dude did this. Like, sure, he's like brash, and sure, he's like, you know, this like wild character. I definitely believe he was getting drunk, and they even showed a video of him drunk. I didn't believe the crack because I had never seen. Do you know what I mean? I had just never seen such a heavy set crackhead. You know what I mean? Like he would. I'm just saying, like, he had that plausible deniability from me, because every crackhead I'd ever seen was petite. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all right, fine, whatever. Some of y'all being weird, but you know you've never seen somebody smoke crack and have a cheeseburger. That is not something that happens within the same 5 minutes. No one has crack for dessert. And he was one of the first people. Like, he was actually a little bit pre-Trump, right? People forget about him, but he was. And they came to him, and they were like, aren't you gonna resign in shame? And he was like, I don't even really feel any shame. No, I think I'm good. I think I'm just gonna stay. And we still, as a people, in every country this happens in, don't know what to do with that. We don't. We, like, that happens, and we're like, oh, I thought you would have some shame. And Rob was like, no, I don't have any shame. I have crack. And it's delicious. Truly, when I tell you, sometimes I can even feel the shame creeping up, but like, shame and crack never meet. They're never in the same room together. So if you feel any of that shame creeping in and you hit a little crack, shame seems to disappear. You know? Because now you even look at like, with like influencer culture, there used to be this thing, like let's take it all the way back, right? Let's take it all the way back to maybe like the 80s or 90s, where if a tape came out of you in some sort of lewd act, it was immediately shameful. It was like immediately the thought process around it. I'm not even saying whether or not that's right. I'm saying that's what people did. Okay? And now you fast forward to today, and something will leak. Maybe someone's nudes leak, maybe a video of them leaks, and then we wait for the person to react to know if we feel shame for them. Or if we try to shame them. It's all based off their reaction. We look to them to know what to do next. So if something happens, if a tape goes out, if some nudes leak or something like that, and the person's like, oh, yeah, that's what I look like. We're like, oh, okay, all right, wow. And not across the board. I'm just saying that becomes the sort of general understanding. But then if that person's reaction is, oh no, you saw me naked, we'll be like, oh, we did. Shame. And so then these 20,000 pages come out, and Wow. Also, not good. Not good at all. Because it's not just Epstein implicating Trump in like other meetings, other times they hung out, other things, other. It's also like Epstein talking real nasty and bad about Trump. Now this is, look, some of it is before their breakup, and then some of it is after. And there have been plenty of people that said, hey, listen, this guy who is no longer friends with Trump, we're talking bad about Trump after they're not friends anymore. What's that supposed to mean? You know what I mean? Why should that even matter? And it's like, look, I understand where you're coming from, but if he's talking about anything that happened while they were still friends, while they hung out to somebody, that does mean something. That does matter, you know? And he was talking wild about Trump, even saying stuff like, I'm the only one that could bring him down with the stuff I know and everything. And look, this is just me. Just me, all right? I'm not friends with Epstein, glad I wasn't, okay? But I'm just saying, if it was me and Epstein was talking this reckless about me over email with all these people, I'd probably be very upset. I'd get very mad. I'd probably get mad enough to kill him in his cell. I'm not saying that is what happened. I'm saying that's what I might do. Me. I'm saying that's what I might do, but I'm petty. You know? I didn't let you stay in my house and everything. You talking crazy about me in these emails. No. You gotta go. There's gonna be a missing minute in the video. Because that's also what's wild. That's where we left off, you know? Remember where we left off where there was they released the video and it was hours long and it was missing the most important minute it could miss? Yeah. Remember when there were like no files? Remember when Pam Bondi was like, look, there's no files. Don't listen to your memory. I know what I said before, but what I'm saying now is more important. There's no files. Isn't it more convincing that there's no files than there's files? And we were all like, what is she talking about? It's bad. It's bad. You know what's so crazy to me? You know what's so crazy to me about a lot of this stuff is that this is Trump we're talking about. Trump was on trial in New York for like, I don't know, some like real estate fraud or whatever. And this dude, it wasn't looking good. It was looking like he might, get found guilty. And the judge had to give him a bunch of warnings. The judge's over here like, you need to stop talking about this case to the media. You need to stop talking about me to the media. Stop. I don't know what else he was doing. Like, stop doxing the stenographer. What? Like, stop. Just stop. You're talking too much. Nobody that's a defendant in any of my other cases I oversee talks as much as you to the media about this case. You gotta stop. And then Trump for his part, Trump, even to his credit, I'd say, was like in danger of being held in contempt almost the entirety of the case. And the judge like, I'm gonna hold you in contempt. I'm gonna do it. And Trump was like, do it. No, do it. I want to be in contempt. I bet you won't do it. And then he would tell him, don't go out there and talk to the media about this case. And then Trump would walk up to the first person with a camera he saw. It could be a camera phone. He could just walk up. And he was like, judge doesn't know what he's doing. He crooked. Everybody crooked. I'm going to win in 2020. But just nonstop. You got to remember, that's the guy that we're talking about. But that's not how he's acting about this. Which means it must be bad. This dude was in court and wasn't scared. But this man, they reached out to all of these Republicans to try to help stop this petition. right? There's this petition to release the Epstein files in the House, and that petition has to go to the Senate. And the petition, but he's trying to get it stopped. He's trying to get it killed, like now. Want it killed now, right? Gotta kill it. And so he's reaching out to people who have even been vocal about the fact that they will be on board with signing the petition. Reaches out to like Nancy Mace, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is the thing. Look, at the end of the day, maybe he did reach out because he just wanted to talk to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Maybe, you know what I mean? I'll be honest with you. If you could put all politics aside in your mind and you hop on the phone with Marjorie Taylor Greene, it will be interesting. You know what I mean? You'll be like, I didn't know about the lasers, Marjorie. If I was ever on the phone with Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know what I would do to keep her on the phone? I would every couple sentences I'd just go, oh! Let her think she was blowing my mind. Throw in a really every now and again. Calls Marjorie Taylor Greene. Apparently none of them are having it. Apparently. Lauren Boebert even was pressured so much to not sign the petition, she was like, it must be worse than I thought. Y'all barely talk to me. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she didn't put her foot down. Marjorie Taylor Greene has actually really turned on Trump so much that it got Trump's attention so much that Trump has turned on Marjorie Taylor Greene, and they're beefing right now, which is hilarious. That is so funny. The idea that Trump is over here being like, y'all know Marjorie Taylor, he's over here calling her a lunatic, calling her crazy, all this stuff like that. The fact that Trump is over here like, Marjorie Taylor Greene crazy, and we're like, we know. That's wild for... What other revelations you got? Did you know Hannibal Lecter wasn't a good guy? I'll tell you as well why Trump's not having a good week. You know, there's been interviews, and there's just been a general discontent with some of what's happening in the country. You know, Trump ran on America First. It's supposed to be Americans first. It's supposed to be America first. But what is happening? And what place is America in? It doesn't seem like there's a one in front of it. You know? Because people point to, how ruthless in the shutdown things got with SNAP, how people are treated, in the country, how America First just sort of feels like a slogan. It doesn't feel like it's really in the agenda. It doesn't feel like what's really happening and everything. And so then you see members of the MAGA movement turning on Trump. And maybe not fully and maybe not forever, but it is like happening. There's this swell of discontent with what he's been doing, how the country is right now. There were so many things that were supposed to be fixed on day one. You can talk as much as you want. He's very good at campaigning. He's not good at governing. Like he's so good at campaigning because campaigning is before you have to. All right. One of the roughest drawbacks with dating, right, is that someone's getting to know you. They don't know you yet, and you can put your best foot forward. You can even try to be the person you're pretending to be, but they're getting to know you, right? And the thing is that early phase where they're getting to know you, the good stuff that happens can also hurt you in the long run. Okay, like my buddy, all right. They had like a fun little, we're gonna cook for our first date, right? I'm gonna go take a little cooking class. And so they go to this cooking class, and there was this jar, and she couldn't open the jar. She was trying with the jar. Trying with the jar. And you can even tell that she was kind of loosening it, but finally she handed it to him, and he goes, immediately, right? Which is great. You did it. But now, you gotta be strong enough to open jars. It looked like that's what you do. No. Ooh, we gotta watch out. Some of the stuff that happens that first time, you in trouble, man. You in trouble if it's the first 3 dates and y'all get into something scary happens. Maybe somebody even tries to mug you or something like that, and you win the fight. Oh, I hope you weren't just lucky. I hope you weren't just lucky, because now my man fight, all right? She gonna tell everybody her man fights. She might even start a couple fights for you. Oh, you want my man to come over here and handle you? In the back of your head, you're like, look, the mugger slipped in a puddle. I mean, I just grabbed the purse back. That's all I did. And like dating to being in a relationship is like what campaigning is to governing. It's wild even to watch some people's reactions. There are some people who have some truly insane and disgusting reactions, or just reactions that are meant to confuse. There are so many people that are like, why didn't the Dems release all this stuff years ago when Biden was president? And it's like, all right, this is the way that records work. There are some things that you could just release outright, like things that maybe you get from an estate or something like that. But then there are things that are part of an investigation, which as long as that investigation is going on, as long as that court case is going on, you can't just release those things to the public. Now that some of these things have been set to rest now, like, you know, obviously like Ghislaine is in jail and everything. And then there are other parts of documents that get redacted, either because they're part of a potential ongoing investigation, or it's to protect the name of a survivor of the abuse or something like that. There's all these different reasons that you could have for when you release things on whatever schedule. But even when people make that sort of argument, I'm like, wait, I can't tell. Are you mad that they are released? Like, what I don't even know what that's meant to accomplish. Why didn't the Dems release it sooner? It's like, all right, it's out now. Isn't that what we're talking about? That's insane. That type of logic would never hold up in like court. You'd never be able to go to court with like, look, if the police care so much, why didn't they catch me sooner? Y'all over here acting like you care. I did it a long time ago. You didn't try that hard to find me. Oh. You see so much of this stuff happening, and you're like, wow, every day he try to move on. Every time he try to move on, it gets worse. 20,000. And 20,003 emails. And I don't know what's going to happen, because if I'm being honest, like truly being honest with you right now, I know that one of the reasons that Trump is trying to get them to stop in the House from all signing the petition is because then it goes to the Senate, and then if enough people have turned on him in the Senate, it then goes to the president, and he is the president, which means he would have to, and We stopped electing people with integrity a long time ago. So like I don't expect, like truly, I don't expect Trump to sign something that is basically dry snitching on himself. I don't think that would happen. Dry humping. But I will say this, I think that there's a very slim chance that it's like Trump's gonna go to jail, or that this will be enough for everyone to turn on him and then just kick him out of office or anything. This is one of those things that is very bad. It's a very bad look. He's panicked about it. People are speculating why he's panicked about it, but it's not the thing that's gonna make him sort of like Nixon up out of here. I'm just being honest with you. And I think that it's easy to forget in all of these different chapters and all of these like extra extensions to the saga that is the sort of Epstein files, that there are real people. There are survivors of Epstein. There are survivors of Ghislaine. That are survivors of all of this abuse and trauma that deserve justice. And the thing that we can do, the thing that we just personally can do, is keep that in mind and hold the people that represent us to account. Let them know that we'll be looking at them for what they do consistently, that we'll be bringing it up, that we won't let it go away. It won't be over just because it falls out of the news cycle. It will not go away. It won't be over. And I think the only thing that we can do as individuals, but collectively together, is just keep farting in his cake as often as possible. Chattanooga, y'all been fantastic. Thank you so much. I
appreciate you.
Please make it loud for Josh Johnson!
When I was growing up, I would hear these stories of people who were like really in the life, like they were doing bad things. They were like, this is bad. Probably gonna go to jail. And I heard this story one time. This dude, everybody got locked up, but there was this trap house. In case you're not aware, a trap house is where illicit materials are sold. Sometimes you might say trap house, or there might be someone who's like, so booby traps? Like, is it the trap door situation? Like when you walk in, watch out for the wire, you're gonna fall down to the basement? No, I mean drugs. I mean the buying and selling of drugs. And so this trap house was known for being pretty busy. It had become so busy that they had bought some property, several blocks away, and opened up another trap house. Business was booming. Things are going very well. Whenever you are selling so many drugs that you have to buy property, we are entering documentary territory. Most trap houses are really just dudes playing video games until somebody knocks on the door. Like, it's not a busy day, and you gotta stay at trap house the whole time because you don't know when someone might get the itch. And so they opened up another trap house, but this location was not as poppin' for some reason. They must have opened it in a bad neighborhood. Can you imagine? Can you imagine being all drugs, be like, I'm not going over there though, that's dangerous. And so even though they opened another location, and even though they tried to tell people, hey, you can come here or you can go over there, people liked the original trap house. It stayed just as busy as ever, with some business going on at the second location, but mostly it was here, right? And, okay. Let's just call him Jerry, all right? And Jerry ran both trap houses. And he did a pretty decent job, you know? Kept his books, kept his finances, really, like, he knew his inventory, you know what I mean? He could have made a great store manager at any grocery store. There was this dude named Twan, and Twan found out about these very popular trap houses. Well, one popular, one not so popular, right? And he made a plan to rob the trap house, the main one, the lucrative one, right? So his plan for robbing the lucrative trap house was to basically set up a diversion at the one that wasn't as busy. So he basically faked a robbery at the one that was not as busy. He had some guys go over there, bang on the door, act like they had guns, they were about to break in, because he knew it would make everyone call Jerry. Jerry and his boys would go over there, you know. By the time they get there, those guys have already left, and then the main trap house is left defenseless. They break in, Twan and them break in, they steal all this money out of the trap house, right? Take it back to their place. Now their place is a stash house. Stash house should be self-explanatory. If I've lost you at Stash House, I cannot help you. But the trap house has been robbed. Everything's been taken back to the Stash House, okay? And then Twan and his boys thought they had made a killing. They were like, this is great. No one even knows that it was us, because they had planned it very well. They planned it all the way down to the detail of if those guys who did the fake robbery got caught, they wouldn't even know who hired them, right? But Jerry's no fool. Jerry started asking around, and he could kind of tell that some of these guys were lying, some of these guys weren't lying. He traced everything back to Twan. And so he set up a plan to rob Twan's stash house. To go in there and not just get his stuff back, but take the rest of whatever was in there. And his plan wasn't as meticulous. He just sort of ran up in there with a lot of men and guns. Now, what he did do is he waited. He learned the routine. He learned who would be there when. It took months. And then finally, he was like, we're going to do it on Tuesday. They never paying attention on Tuesday. We're going to run up in there. It's only going to be like 5 of them. If it's 15 of us, I don't think we'll meet a lot of resistance. It's not like it's their money. It's Twan's money. And so that's what they did. They broke up in there, went ahead, zip-tied everybody, and took everything, which took several trips. The people at the stash house did have to watch themselves be robbed for quite a while. Imagine you over here, you're not gonna get away with this. Then you think they've left, they come back in the door. Left all this right here. And so then one of them, being new to the lifestyle, being a new, some would say prospect gang member, was so appalled at the theft that when he freed himself, lacking all presence of mind, called the police. This man called the police. It was like they ran up in there, they had guns and everything. They had a gun in my hands. He's telling all this to 911. They took everything. They took the weeds. They took all the money. Took my favorite Glock. And, some people were duct taped and everything, duct taped over the mouth, zip tied behind everything. So when, as soon as he called 911, he started freeing everybody else. And as soon as he ripped that tape off, they're like, "What is wrong with you? We gotta get out of here now." And so then they all left. They all ran up out of there because the police, catching wind that there was a robbery of the stash house, made themselves available immediately. No, they got out in time not to get caught. They got out in time to see the police raiding the stash house from a few doors down. And that's the thing, is like people say, crime doesn't pay, or like criminals are dumb or whatever. But there are some very smart people who, for whatever reason, enter a certain lifestyle, choose to stay there, or maybe it's all that they know. And if criminals were so dumb, they wouldn't be fascinated. We are fascinated by career criminals. We're fascinated by people who do things that aren't just illegal. They have the gall to try to pull something off that has so many different entry points to danger. Like, just in the past few days, the Louvre was robbed. And I have not been able to settle. This is amazing. Okay, so if you're not familiar with the Louvre or the Louvre or whatever, it's one of the most visited museums in the world, and people go there and then they act like they've been changed by art. And you ask them what they saw, they can't name anything or anybody. They were just like, "No, the Mona Lisa was there, looking unimpressed." Well, there were these robbers that broke in. And they broke in dressed as construction workers, right? They had actually rented this like powerlifting vehicle that had a ladder that would bring them up to the next level where they could cut in, because they brought tools to cut in through the window and enter that way. They didn't want to just come through the front. And it made sense that they were dressed as construction workers, as the Louvre is under construction. Permanently, I guess. It's always under. Why is Europe never finished? All of Europe, unless you're out in the country, there's always like, "Oh, we gonna fix this road." We've been working on it since 1822. But that's y'all's fault. Y'all keep changing the roads. We just, right when we finished the cobblestone, y'all were like, "No, it's asphalt now." And so look, they break in, and they break in with these power tools. They had like an angle grinder and everything. And that's when the alarms were going off and stuff. And then they get in through this museum window, and the part of the museum that they're in is where these rare crown jewels are being held. Right? They didn't bother with the Mona Lisa. There was a crowd. There's a line. You'd never make it out. People be like, "No, I want to see." And people keep, they keep criticizing the security. They keep criticizing the people that were doing security. But those people did approach them. They were like, "Hey, you don't." You better not. Because what is museum security really supposed to do? Let's be honest. Let's be real. If you work security in any format, they should arm you with as much as it takes to protect what's supposedly valuable. Think about this. when you see someone working for like Brinks, right? And they bring a Brinks truck to do a deposit for a bank. Let's say a whole grocery store is like, hey, we got like $250,000 that we need to transport over to the bank to make our deposit. The bank is like, don't worry, we'll send somebody. They hire Brinks. Brinks comes over. They have a truck, and not just a truck, like a bulletproof truck. And then they get two people. They get two people to make sure nobody knocks you over the head when you're trying to grab the bags and put them in the truck. They get two people, and not just two people, two of the biggest people you've ever seen. Like two people that are so big that it's like, you are the gun, right? And then I think they give them a gun. They always hold in their pocket. Maybe they don't have a gun, but it looks like they have a gun. And they don't give them cuffs because they don't plan on taking any prisoners. And then they get in there, Brinks always handles a drop like they are being robbed. Like they always handle the drop the way a bank robber would handle the drop. Because I used to work at a grocery store, and Brinks would come in and they'd be like, so where is your safe, or where do you, hurry. And we'd be like, oh, it's over here. Okay, it's over here, all right. And then the one would get to work putting, the other one just watching us. I'm ringing people up. I'm putting more money in the till, and they were still like, but you might try anything. I don't know you. And then they would leave, and they'd leave all fast. And then they'd run into the truck, throw everything in the truck, and then they would always peel out a little bit, which made me uncomfortable. One time they came and did a pickup, and I was like, y'all sure that was Brinks? Because they were a little squirrely. But then for some reason, there are times where you're supposed to protect, or you're supposed to hold guard of something, and you're giving less and less resources as you do it. Like, you look at a Brinks security guard, and then you look at like a mall cop. They're like, you get one flashlight. I guess shine it in their eyes or something. If you hit somebody hard enough in the head with it, the glass will break. That's something. But nobody gets done dirtier. Nobody gets done dirtier than museum security. Museum security, not only do they give you nothing, no flashlight, they don't even give you a stapler to hit somebody with. They give you nothing. All they give you is a dress code. They're like, hey, just show up in all black, nobody will mess with you. You show up in a black shirt with a black suit jacket and some black pants and black shoes, people think you John Wick. They won't even approach any of the art. Because truly, what is a museum security guard supposed to do? I go to a lot of museums. I try to go to a museum in every city that I do a show, if I can, right? And I've been in these museums, beautiful art. And then you see, you get a little too close, and you see this thing go off, this like little, you don't even know where the alarm is, but like it'll just, that's the too close alarm. Because it's not like a real alarm, it's just annoying, and it goes off until you back up. So if you're a pointer, I go to a lot of museums with pointers. Everyone I take to a museum love to point. It's like we all three again, and they're like, I like the flap. As soon as you hear, somebody works for a museum, comes over, black everything, with an attitude. Could you not? Ma'am, back up. They love that hair. Back up. Give it a little space. Let the art breathe. And you want to know who a museum security guard's arch nemesis is? Because it's not like a grown man. It's not a grown woman. It is any child. Any child will ruin their day. Because I don't know what it is about the frequency of the alarm, but if you're 4, you can't hear it. If you're 4, you're like, hey. I was at this museum one time. This security guard was in a true predicament because this child was out here touching everything. Just... He was touching her to the point that it sounded like their alarm was going off to the tune of Mary Had a Little Lamb. And finally, the security guard started like chasing his child around, and not like really chasing him, not like Dennis the Menace chasing him, but just like following them around, hoping to maybe this kid's gonna go back up to their parents or something and be like, "Can you please hold your child's hand or something?" Because they've been touching everything, got applesauce on everything. Because as a security guard, what are you gonna do? You can't grab this kid. You can't actually grab this. I know that sounds crazy to anybody who was born in any era before now. You have to kind of let this kid put applesauce on all the art, because if you touch this kid, you've committed murder. So if you snatch this kid and even hold their hand so you can find their parent, you are basically killing them. So you have to like let them kind of do it, but then follow them around, but then not touch them, but then make sure they don't touch anything. It would look terrible. And so finally, this security guard just started running interference on every item. This child was walking up, getting ready to touch a sculpture. Security guard get in there. No. Just trying to box him out of every room. And then finally, this kid, realized what was going on. Felt like it was a game. So this kid is like, "Oh, you want to play? I love to play. Playing's my favorite thing. Playing's basically my job." And so he running interference. There's a painting. And finally, this kid gets boxed in. And even the security guard's like, "I don't know what to do now." Because like, this would be when you would like snatch their hand and be like, "Hey, is your child not with you in the museum? I might have them." But he was like, doesn't want to touch his kid, but doesn't want the kid to touch anything else, but then is in the corner, but then is also a grown man cornering a child in a corner. Just because you're at work doesn't make it look better. All this kid has to yell is "stop," and you going straight to jail. I'm your only witness, and I'm not really here right now. And so this kid boxed into the corner, and you can see the kids having fun. Kids over here. Nowhere to go but under. This kid slipped under his legs and ran away. This man turned around. They started chasing after this kid even more, and then the kid went to the only room he hadn't got applesauce on. And was next to this painting. I don't really remember who painted this, but it was a huge, huge painting of a ship in a storm. And it was one of those that was like, it was a marvel because of its scale. So it's not like one that you just hang up and 6x8, whatever. This thing was huge. It took up almost the entire wall, which meant he could definitely reach it. This kid walked up to the painting, and now the whole thing is a game. Touching the stuff's a game, trying not to get caught is a game. This kid's having fun. He thought museums were boring. He's having the time of his life. This kid standing next to the painting. And admittedly, I was also running after them so I could keep watching. I didn't try to help him at all, but I was like, I gotta see the rest of this. Like, what you gonna do? This man gonna run out of breath soon. Security guard gets in the room, huffing and puffing. And he just goes, even the kid for a second was like, "Ooh, are you?" That might have killed a grandpa. I don't even know. And then this kid goes in his pocket and lifts an applesauce covered finger. And I was like, it's been in his pocket the whole time. Children are disgusting. This kid been running around with a pocket full of applesauce this entire museum trip. And then Unc running security goes, don't. This kid, no words, no emotion in his eyes. You can tell he gonna grow up to be a bad person. This kid, applesauce covered finger just went, beep. And so if a security guard is defenseless against a child, what do you expect them to do against actual robbers with angle rods that they just used to break into the second floor window? Because the security ran up on them, no, hey, get out of here, none of that. And then they went, vroom, vroom, vroom. Security was like, you know what, let us help you. Everybody out. Everybody out. Everybody get out now. Security made everybody get out but them. Don't you see these men working? Get out. They over here on time crunch. And you over here, ooh, look at the jewels. Get out. In fact, there was a news report that cracked me up. I laughed so hard because the security report, there was this person who, I don't think they were like head of security for the Louvre or anything, but they were basically like, it is museum security's number one job to make sure the people are safe, and that's what they did. They made sure the people were safe. I was like, you are changing the narrative right now, because anytime I got too close to a painting and I heard the and then I had somebody come over, it didn't seem like it was for my protection. You know what I mean? It wasn't like they were running up, hey, that one, that painting, that wakes up. Don't get close. Please. And so then, robbers start grabbing everything, grabbing these like Napoleon era empire crown jewels, right? They grab so much, they grab too much. They actually grab so much, they drop one. They drop one of the crowns outside. And this is gonna sound dumb. This will sound dumb, so bear with me, because I know it's gonna sound dumb, but I don't think it's dumb, all right? I thought, truly, even when I went to museums, for as many museums as I go to, I've been to museums in Europe, I go to museums here, I go to every museum that I can. I thought for certain that when you see something in a museum, that under certain circumstances is a replica. I can tell by your reaction that some of y'all think I'm dumb and some of y'all think what I thought. I'm telling you right now, when I would go to the museum, I would admire the brushstrokes, I'd admire everything, but I would be like, this is the fake one though. Like this has to be the fake one. And I thought that because if you remember, right before 2020 and even after the pandemic, you would have activists that would go to museums. These, climate activists would go to museums and they just throw like tomato soup on supposedly priceless paintings, right? They would go up to like a Van Gogh and be like, blah, and then they glue themselves to the wall or something, and then they would be like, this is why we did this, and you will have to listen to me for as long as it takes to unsuperglue my hand from the wall. Because people who are climate activists feel like no one is listening to the point where the only thing that will get any attention or like stop people for a second to listen to them is just extreme acts that knock you out of whack. You know what I mean? Just things that you go, what? What? They did what? Why did they do that? And then they get to explain. It's like the better version of canvassing, because they tried to canvass. They really did. Everyone that cares about the climate tried to canvas, and what did you do? You walk by them. They were like, do you have a minute for the planet? And you were like, I'm headed to work, please. I was with a friend one time, and look, I've stopped plenty of times. I can't stop every time. And so they were like, do you have a minute for the planet? And then my buddy was like, nah, we're good, and kept walking, have a good day. And this dude got really bad. This dude canvassed and was like, you on the planet? You don't have a minute for the planet you on? But that was happening a decent amount. There were these supposedly priceless paintings. They were getting vandalized, people throwing Campbell soup on them and everything. So then I was like, surely a museum would not allow Campbell's soup to get thrown on the real one, like the regular one, because the museum was always super chill about it. The museum, they would like throw tomato soup on a Van Gogh, and the museum would be like, stuff happens, we gonna get it off. You gonna what? You gonna get it off? Because when I got close, when I tried to smell the painting, I heard, and then you came over, no smelling. It was get it off, no big deal. Or you would see things like I don't know about you, but the tomato soup that I eat got a little oil to it, and you throw it on oil painting, it seems like it might leave a stain. I have no idea. But then you would see the museum come out and be like, no permanent damage was done to the artwork. And I'm like, how? I've dropped suits that were clear on my hoodie before it had the stain forever. How's this 200-year-old acrylic painting fine? It must be a fake. I used to think that, look, if you go to a museum and you see just like you could touch it, that one can't be real. But if you go to a museum and it's behind glass, that's the real one, because they bothered to protect it. Why are you just bothering to protect some pieces? That doesn't make sense to me. So then, in my head, I was like, those aren't the jewels. You know what I mean? That's just colored glass. These people so stupid, they ran up in there and risked their freedom for some colored glass. And then the French government came out and said, priceless items have been stolen from the Louvre. And I was like, that's the real jewel! Y'all didn't run any armed security around the real crown jewels? For a split second, I felt like it was my money. I was like, what are y'all doing? Ooh, I need to sit down. You said it was priceless, and then right after saying it was priceless, they were like, it's about $100 million. I was like, oh, seems like a price. You said priceless for a day and a half, and then immediately y'all were like, I think 103 probably. At least round up to 110. And then, in my opinion, museum handled it wrong. They were over here freaking out. Everybody, the French government, they got everybody on it. They got like their version of the FBI. They have the local police. They have everybody on it. They plastered all the jewels that were missing all over international news and everything. If I was trying to save face, let's say I was head of museum security, I was trying to save face, I would come out to the public immediately after the robbery and be like, y'all, that was Banksy. Y'all know Banksy played too much. But this is where I wish that they had done a better job of being creative, being inventive. You've just been robbed, one of the boldest robberies that we've seen. And you are the most visited museum in the world. Why don't you just see this as a W? You know what I mean? Instead of freaking out and shutting down the whole wing and staying closed for a day, all you gotta do is put that tape around the crime scene and make that an exhibit. We all wanna see it. Bring people in. Make the security guards that did do their job, the tour guides, just be like, it was 4 of them. They ran up in here. I was like, hey, get out of here. And they were like, ving, ving, ving. I was like, you right. All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. But I'm telling everybody, and that's why I'm telling you now. And yeah, you can see the glass right here. Take a piece of glass home. You can take a piece of glass home if you want. The jewels used to be right there. That's crazy, right? Jewels used to be just like, and the light used to hit it like that, but then they brought the grinder and they so. But they were real ones. That's why I'm doing this now, or else I'd be fired. Oh, it sucks. It does. It sucks because, like, it's just gonna turn museum security into TSA. Yeah, I mean, because look, this was, as far as museum security goes, this was their 9/11. So if you think you're just gonna roll up in there and have a good time, that's not what's gonna happen. You're gonna show up and they're gonna be like, all right, shoes off. They all gonna have the wand now. Oh, brutal stuff. You're gonna walk into your local museum. You're not even in France. But there's gonna be that security guard, takes his job extra serious, and be like, you're not gonna get me, not today. Pants down. Pants down. No, I gotta check. You could have anything in there. You could have an angle grinder in your pants or something. You know, we have some very expensive cups here. I love a tour guide at a museum because then they'll tell you how expensive something is. And at least with the pottery, maybe this is me not being cultured, but some of the pottery that's in museums, and then they'll tell the story of how the pottery got to the museum, and then they'll be like, you know, this is worth easily $100,000. And I'll be like, nah, it's not. It's not. Like, it isn't. Like, it is not. As much as it is here, it is not worth that. Like the function of is, like it is here, like it exists, like it is. It is here. And it is not worth that. And you know how it's not? I know it's not worth that. I know it's not worth that. Because you had to tell me how much it was, because I thought it was worth nothing. I thought y'all dug it up and brought it here because y'all were like, this was just in the ground. Isn't that interesting? I bet you people aren't leaning over the register at the gift shop being like, how much was that clay cup? I only have 50,000 on me. Dang. I would have loved that clay cup that looked like a caveman did it. Because I need to be clear here. I'm not just trying to be rude. The one that I'm talking about, it wasn't like some beautiful African art. It wasn't like a Greek pot or something that was painted with a story on it. It just looked lumpy. It just looked lumpy to the point where I was like, even when they drank out of this, there's no way they got the water on a consistent basis. You could tell it's primitive because it looked like a cup that gulps. Looked like it pours when it wants to. Lip of it all uneven and everything. This is $100,000. I'm like, all right. You sure you didn't look at it too fast and add 2 extra zeros? Because I don't think so. There was a guy. There was really, really rich guy, apparently. I don't know. I don't know him, but everybody was saying how rich he was. And he got on the Instagram to actually, physically cry about the crown jewels being stolen. And he gave this whole speech about how, like, the robbers, because there's this assumption that the robbers aren't gonna be able to just sell the jewels they stole as is. There are plenty of people in the world that would pay the money it would take to sell them just as is, and maybe they just keep it and only they know they have it. But art collectors usually like to show off their collection, and so they can't tell anybody. So it's better just go ahead and maybe melt it down, sell the jewels. The jewels themselves are still very expensive. In fact, you'll see where throughout history pieces have been stolen. Mona Lisa was stolen before. Pieces sometimes get stolen, but unless you can sell it to someone, what's it really worth? And so there's speculation that already these jewels have been melted down and being sold for parts, or maybe pieces are being sold that might not be able to be traced back to the complete set. And this guy got on social and he was just crying. Dude had to be in his like 50s, something like that, and he was like, it's that crying where, okay, you know, it was like the crying you do when you're little, but you let yourself do it again when you get grown if something gets to you enough. Which is crazy, because he went online to cry, but then was fighting the crying. But he's fighting the crying to camera. But then just don't turn the camera on yet. Like if you let it out real quick and then do your video. You doing the video, like no one putting the video in your face right now. You doing the video and you, wait, just wait. No one asked for this video. You could wait a day. You could wait till you're over it, or you could just not do it. But this dude got, some people just cry like they choking, and it's just. And then he said a bunch of stuff, and he did say it in French. I don't speak French, so I'm going to paraphrase from what everybody said he was saying. But I know he said some of this because a lot of people said he said it, and then I know there's some of it that might be like editorialized on what he said, because I don't know if he said that because I don't speak any French. And then also he didn't even say what he said in French well, because he was crying through the whole thing. Like. And look, to be fair, maybe some of that was crying and maybe a little bit of that was the accent. Maybe some of that was the accent, because there are certain people that when they speak French, they do seem upset for no reason. So then that's... It's like, was that a cry or was that one? Were you saying one just now? Were you like, ooh? Or is that you trying to hold it together? Because that's why you should have waited to make the video. That's a cry. That was not French. That one. And what this dude basically said was that you didn't just steal from the Louvre. You stole from the French people. You stole a piece of our heritage. You stole a piece of our history. And if you melt that down, if you repurpose that, if you sell that, you will burn in hell, because you have stolen from the people. And I'm almost positive, I don't know everyone who's seen the video, I just know that I saw it, but I'm sure if you saw that video and you were from Africa or Brazil or just anywhere, I'm sure you watched it and you were like, oh no. Someone stole a piece of your heritage? What are you gonna do? Someone in Sri Lanka is like, not France. No. What are you gonna do? And look, I can understand if you are from some of those other countries, if you're from like an African country or something like that, if you're from Haiti and you see this thing, that you might be like, oh no, not the Louvre. They have our stuff too. Did they steal our stuff? Now it's gonna be harder to find, because that's also what was there. So now, oh no. Someone stole the, you know? I just love the story so much. I love the robbers. Cause look, cause they even showed up. They weren't just dressed in a construction outfit. They had on the, you know what I mean, the thing. mask and top and bottom. You know, they were wearing the baklava. I don't know, I love this crime so much because it feels a lot like, it feels a lot like somebody that runs a trap house robbing a stash house, and then the person from the stash house is like, we gotta call the police. I can't believe somebody would steal from us. This is unacceptable behavior. We stole all this stuff fair and square. This was ours. And then they took it from us in an act of injustice. Stanford, y'all have been amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. I hope you have a phenomenal time.